B?
What?
Standby B?
Yeah, this one.
No, it was
Something, I don't know.
It's past 7 here on Stock Market Today, and this morning we have a local business success story to report for you. My guest on the program this morning is Louis Chan, who's a part owner of the Yet Wah restaurant chain. Louis, I want to welcome you to Stock Market Today.
Thank you, Snoop.
I've billed you as a local success story in the business world, and I think that's quite justified. I understand that Yet Wah started very recently and has now expanded to become one of the only restaurant chains serving Chinese food in the Bay Area. Am I right?
That's true. We started back in 1969, our first restaurant. As a matter of fact, this is our 10-year and 3 days. We opened on the 20th of August, and we expanded to about 8 restaurants now in the Bay Area.
8 restaurants in 10 years. That's something unusual, isn't it, to have a chain of Chinese restaurants? I'm not familiar with other chains of Chinese restaurants.
Well, that's true. I guess we're the first one. We started out pretty successful. With the corner restaurant on Clement Street, we didn't expand right away. We waited until about 1973, and then we had 2, and then within like 74 and 75 we had 5.
Was it a hard start? Is it difficult to get this kind of business going?
It was very difficult in the beginning.
I understand that in the very beginning, that's the time when a lot of people really fail with the corner store restaurants.
Right.
What kind of problems did you face right in the very early days when you just had that one store in Clement?
Well, one of the basic problem is when we took over a restaurant. Actually, it used to be been another restaurant before us, and we have customer coming in that found out that it was a new restaurant. They won't even try it out. They just walk out. So it took a while to actually build up confidence for the customer to come in.
One of your latest expansions, I think, has been into Pier 39.
Yes, correct.
That's something of a controversial project in itself, but let me ask you, how's business on Pier 39?
Well, it's not as good as we anticipated, but it's holding out. My dad decided to have a place for tourists, instead of like on Clement Street, where it's mainly for local people.
How do you approach your customers? Are you there for the tourists? Is that who you set your store out for, or are you primarily for just local people who know the Yet Wah chain?
Well, right now it seems like it's mainly the local people, but in the beginning we wanted for the tourists, that people from come to San Francisco to Pier 39. But now it seems that mostly the people that know us, the local people, are bringing their friends to Pier 39.
Is it Mandarin food or Cantonese food or what?
It's Mandarin food.
What's the difference between that and Cantonese food, for the benefit of our viewers who are not familiar?
Okay, Mandarin food is mostly spicy food. It's from the northern part of China, and it has more spices. But we serve both Cantonese and Mandarin too.
If I'm not mistaken, the Chinese community in San Francisco is primarily Cantonese in origin, primarily coming from Hong Kong. Doesn't that mean that there is a preference for Cantonese food in San Francisco, and that you, the Mandarin cuisine maker, are something of an outsider?
Well, it started out like that. I guess maybe people got tired of eating Cantonese food, and then when Mandarin came along, they liked that more.
What plans for the future, Louis? Where to from now? You've got 8 restaurants in business in San Francisco. You're obviously doing very well. What for the future?
Well, we're thinking about maybe looking at places in San Diego, maybe open one up there.
Why San Diego?
Well...
Growing tired of Northern California? Success too much for you or what?
Well, we just want to try another place.
Okay, so Southern California it might be.
Right.
Okay, Louis, I want to thank you very much for coming onto our program this morning. It's been a pleasure having you. I've been talking just a moment ago with Louis Chan, a part owner of the Yet Wah restaurant chain, very much a success story for the Northern California Bay Area. We'll be back with a market update in 1 moment, right after this.